Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kyle Moyner. I'm the Battalion Chief on A Division. And on behalf of Chief Garlow, Chief Matsushita, our Fire Marshal, Carissa Workman, Chief Hernandez, Chief Bagley, we'd like to welcome you to our 6th Annual Fire Department Awards. Before we move on any further, Chief Bagley is going to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand while we honor our flag with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you, family and friends. Thank you, City of Santee employees. I see some of you out there. Thank you to our city manager for being here. Thank you to our council members. I see Councilmember Trotter, Councilmember Hall, Councilmember Koval. Thought she was going to be here. And thank you, members of the Santee Fire Department. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for taking the time to recognize your peers and colleagues. When I realized I would be responsible for overseeing the awards program, I'll be honest, I was a little bit apprehensive. So in addition to managing a division, each of the battalion chiefs oversees specific areas of responsibilities. So as the battalion chief on A Division, I also manage the city fleet and the fire department services. So the awards program fell to me. And I wasn't really sure what to expect. I look at Chief Bagley, B Division. He manages public education and EMS. Not only does he get to work with the best paramedics in the county, and I'm not just saying that because I technically have a paramedic license. I know that's true because of the reputation that we have and the standards that we've established. So he gets to work with these amazing individuals. He's also on the forefront of the JPA formation and all these exciting things to come. If I look at Chief Hernandez, C Division, he manages safety and training. He gets to engage in live fire training, auto extrication, join academies, and be a leader in the zone and county of all things safety and training related. I was pretty envious of them and all the great things they've continued to work on. But then I had this opportunity, and I was lucky enough to hear directly about all the amazing people in this department. In their own words. We're often so busy, we move from one thing to the next. We don't stop to think about what we've accomplished. This opportunity gave me pause. As part of this process, we sent out emails requesting nominations from our department and to solicit awards. And the response we received was overwhelming. The awards committee, which consists of myself and the 3 previous winners of Firefighter of the Year, it's Engineer Nelson Smith, Engineer Billy Walkenhorse, and Engineer Matt Brown. Let's see Matt, I don't know if he's here. We met to review the nominations, and we read through each one. It was difficult to describe how much pride we felt in that room. It was such a warm experience. We weren't reading what people thought about themselves. We were reading about what they thought about each other. And it was really rewarding. So thank you for what you do and who you are and for allowing us to have that experience. Today we're going to recognize members of our department for their service. We're going to welcome our new members. We're going to highlight our recent promotions. And then we're going to acknowledge some outstanding individuals for the things that they have accomplished this year. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Fire Chief Garlow.
I will lower the mic a little bit. First and foremost, thank you, Kyle. Let's give Kyle another round of applause. This is not an easy program to put together. In addition to the enormous amount of work that he completes every day, putting a program like this together is no easy task. And also thank you to the committee for your efforts in recognizing our people. There's one thing you might have noticed that Kyle left out. And the awards committee left out. We don't give life-saving awards at this award ceremony. It's to recognize people for things separate from life-saving. I don't want to say life-saving has become kind of a normal thing that we do, but it's a normal thing that these firefighters do almost every day. We have another program where we recognize lives saved with some challenge coins, and it's pretty consistent that we go down and we present challenge coins for life savings throughout the whole year. So don't think that that's missed. It's just covered on a regular basis, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm very proud of our department for the work they're doing out there. Today's a special day, so welcome everybody. It's always wonderful to see family and friends here. We have an amazing department. We have an amazing support system, and you'll see tonight, I think, a recurring theme of the use of the word family. So I think we all embrace that. Some of you that are here for your first time with your new firefighters on the job, I hope you embrace that too. Everybody in this room, especially those wearing uniforms, and the family of those wearing uniforms are here for you. They're here for you every day. They're here for you when you need them, when your firefighter's out on a strike team for 2 weeks and they had zero notice. They'll be here for you then, and they'll be here for you in the good times as well. So I hope you embrace that as we do. A couple of things I want to cover. Our history of excellence. I think Kyle did a fantastic job talking about our history of EMS. That is not... he's not embellishing the best paramedics in the county. We take pride in it. We've been recognized by it many, many times. Our paramedics are out there. They've been out there for 40 plus years, and they continue to be out there doing the best job in the county. We are very proud of that, and we have no reason to believe that won't continue. In addition to that, this fire department takes great pride in our firefighting side as well. It's a little less obvious because we're saving lives so often. Our firefighters are out there saving lives so often. That often overshadows what they're doing on the fire scene. We take pride, and we always have, in being our aggressive nature of firefighting, our aggressive nature in protecting our people and property and our residents. It is a tremendous source of pride. So for all those in uniform, thank you for that. A couple things, where we're going. As I stand here today, I think I've never felt more optimism for our fire department in the 23 years I've been on the job here. There are some amazing things coming up, one of which is the JPA. Kyle touched on that with Chief Bagley. And when he was talking about Chief Bagley, the JPA, for the last 40 plus years, we've been part of the CSA 69 to be exact, and many of you have probably heard of that. That is the half of our department that funds our ambulances, our EMS transport. Over the last few years, Chief Matsushita has been probably our lead person in this fight to hold the county accountable. So the CSA basically is this county layer of administration over us for the last 40 years. And they've been great partners, but we've wanted to grow and we wanted to do some different things. And we finally have crested that hill, and we're on this precipice of controlling our own destiny. And for those that don't really understand that, on January 1st, we will finally have control with our partners Lakeside of the CSA. So the City of Santee and Lakeside Fire Protection District will be able to control our own destiny. We'll be able to control the service levels without going to the County Board of Supervisors. It's an amazing opportunity to provide more service for our community, more relief for our crews out there on the ambulances just getting crushed every day. Relief is coming, and I've never felt more optimistic. And I'd like to give Chief Matsushita a quick round of applause for all his work on that. I see him every day. He's been the driving force in the actual transition, which you can imagine is a lot of fun working out the billing contracts, etc. So I'm very proud of his efforts there. That's the EMS transport side. Never felt more optimistic. Concurrently on the standards, on the other side, we have what's called the standards of cover, or lesser known as a community risk assessment and long-range master plan study that's being completed right now that should be presented in early January. The standards of cover is something that the fire department has collaborated with the city manager and our city council since 2016-ish. I think we allocated some money. We finally got to the point where we were able to get this contract going. And what that is, in January, the company will come back and tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing well, and how we can do those things better, from personnel allocation to station allocation to number of stations, number of personnel on the floor, number of response units. It's a huge plan that they're going to present. And as you can imagine, that took a lot of trust from our city manager and our council. It took a lot of understanding that we need somebody else to come in and look at our service levels and be able to tell us how to get to where we need to be to provide the very best service to every resident in this community. So on behalf of the city manager and the city council, I'll give you a round of applause. Thank you very much. As you can see, that whatever plan comes back is going to take support, it's going to take work. But again, I've never felt more optimistic. I've never felt so proud of our department, our council, our whole city working together. And I'm awed often by the support and the collaboration. So I will not continue to go on and on, but thank you all for being here. We're going to move on to the next portion of our ceremony, which is our new hire badge pinning. So if I could call all of our new hires up: Corbin, Ryan Harper, Cameron, William. Perfect. You guys remember from the academy how to come up and line up perfectly. I appreciate that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pin our new hires. These gentlemen were all hired within the last year. We'll go more into who they are and what they went through to get to this point through the fire academies. I believe Chief Hernandez is going to talk about their academies and their training. So we'll get into that a little further, but I'll save that for him. As of now, we're going to present their badges, and we're going to do the oath of office when we're done with that. So let's start off with Corbin, who will be pinned by his girlfriend, Callie. So Callie, can you come up? Corbin. I got your, I got it. Oh, that was actually really good. Go ahead, take a seat. Congratulations, Frank. Cameron Rexwinkle, who will be pinned by parents Jim and Caroline. Congratulations. Oh, there they are. Back. Uncle Steve. There you go. If you, I'm sure he knows how to do it.
From this side, actually, I don't. She's much better at it.
May not know, it's probably unusual for his father to be on that side of the pinning. He's had several promoted badges pinned on him throughout the years with Long Beach Fire Department, so thank you. William Jin, who will be pinned by his sister McKenna.
Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, if you could step forward, we're gonna introduce our city clerk, Annette Ortiz, who will swear them in.
Hello. Okay, you guys want to all raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, William Jin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental
or
reservation
purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will uphold
that I will uphold
the Santee Fire Department Code of Conduct.
the Santee Fire Department Code of Conduct.
Okay, that's it. Congratulations.
Congratulations, gentlemen. You may sit.
Thank you, sir.
Next, I'd like to introduce Chief Jeff Hernandez, who will be discussing Academy 27 and 28.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. Like you just said, my name is Jeff Hernandez. I'm the C-Shift Battalion Chief, and I have training and safety under my areas of responsibility. It's a great honor to be able to be a part of training these people when we hire them on with our organization. People come to us from all over, different places, as far away as Seattle and as close as here in Santee. And when they come to us, they have a wide variety of experience, both life experience and job experience and training. The minimum requirements to get hired with us is you need to have a paramedic license. You don't need to have any specific fire training. So we kind of operate with that as our standard, and knowing that these people may need to have a lot of fire training, or some of them may come and already have a fire academy and already have a lot of training under their belt. What we have typically done is we've tried to do a 4-week academy that we do within just the Santee Fire Department, but we also recently ventured out with our most recent 28th Fire Academy that had Rex Winkle and Jen in it. They were part of a joint fire academy where we partnered with San Miguel Fire Protection District, and together we put on one academy that was 4 weeks long. And that was really a great experience and brought some more value to it, and had a lot of additional bonding and things that you don't normally get between different agencies like that. So it was a very good experience for everybody. We had 2 academies this year. So the first one had Corbin Marion and Ryan Harper were both part of Santee Fire Academy number 27. And then Cameron Rex Winkle and William Jin both were in Academy 28, which was the joint one between Santee and San Miguel. I won't belabor it a whole lot more. They get to learn a whole lot of stuff. When we first bring them on board, depending on timing of when we are able to schedule academy, they'll do a combination of training, both paramedic and fire. So we typically do 12 shifts where they ride along, and everybody gets hired as a paramedic, so they already know the basics, but we're teaching them kind of how we do things. Being the first paramedics in the county, we're like we said, there's a ton of pride, and we really hold our people to a very, very high standard, and so we teach them how to achieve that standard and what's the expectations for them. So they typically do 12 shifts right along as a paramedic, third person, to get that training, and then usually before, but sometimes after, they'll do that 4-week fire academy. So it's very extensive training, and during the academy, they'll learn lots of stuff about ladders, lots of stuff about hoses, and they do all kinds of different things, wildland firefighter training, extricating people from vehicle accidents, learning how to rescue people that might be down a cliff using ropes and those different techniques. So I won't belabor it. We're going to watch a short video here, and it's going to be of your loved ones here during their 2 fire academies.
Hi, I'm Ryan Harper. I'm 28 years old, and I'm from San Diego, California.
My name is Corbin Marion. I'm 32 years old, and I'm from Seattle, Washington.
My name is Cameron Rexwinkle. I'm 29 years old, and I grew up in Lakewood, California.
My name is William Jin. I'm 23 years old, and I'm originally from Sierra Mone, California.
So all 4 of these gentlemen performed exceptionally well during their training, and you should be proud of them, and they should be proud of their own efforts. They all have the right attitude where they are aggressively seeking out more training and learning more skills, and they've got a very positive attitude and want to continue learning and being in that environment. So thank you guys for what you've done to this point, and congratulations on making it this far. Next is going to be Deputy Chief Matsushita, who's going to be presenting these service awards.
Okay, before we get started with the service awards, you've probably already picked up on a theme that's going to continue throughout the night, which is really about the amazing people that we have and the amount of stuff that each person is tasked with in this organization. But it's not without significant support staff, particularly up in fire admin. So we want to take a few minutes here and recognize some of our individuals from fire admin that really help keep this machine going. So Karen, would you mind coming up? And Wendy, I know you left us, but you're still fire deep down inside. And Venus, come on Venus, I know you hate this. Thank you so much for being here. These are our unsung heroes that really keep us in line. They have a whole lot of children that they have to keep up on, me being one of them. So thank you for all you do. We really appreciate it, and it's a pleasure coming to work with you each day.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move into our service awards, and our service awards are broken up into 5-year increments. So The first block of service awards will be those who have been here for 5 years. And because there's going to be some significant overlap in some of these individuals that have service awards and those we're going to recognize, this is going to be somewhat brief as far as the date they're hired and a few things they contribute. I'll start off, Chris is going to help me out, but when you call your name up, come up for each individual block, we'll get a picture and then we'll start with the next one. So our first group of service awards is a 5-year. One of these individuals who cannot be here tonight, but we do want to recognize is Bradford Tiffany, who was hired in 2017. He's one of our SCBA technicians, and he's also a member of the PPE committee. Next up, Channing. Is Channing here? All right, Channing is not here. He's probably surfing. Channing was hired in 2017. He worked for 13 years in Calexico before coming here, so he had some pretty significant experience. He's also an active member of our public education team, and he's the current coordinator for Santee Santa, so he's got a pretty heavy responsibility this time of year. Channing always has a smile on his face, so he's a fun guy to be around. Another guy that always has a smile on his face is Jeremy Carroll. Come on up, Jeremy. Jeremy was hired in 2017. He's a member of our EMS committee. He's been a paramedic mentor and a preceptor. He's insanely engaged in training, and he recently brought to us a new nozzle study that is really going to make us better at what we do. So his passion for our craft is admirable, and we really appreciate every day this guy comes to work because he has this big smile on his face and it's infectious. Okay, moving on to our 10-year awards. 10 years. First up, Tony Romero. Tony was hired in 2012. He was a previous Firefighter of the Year recipient in 2016, which means you'll never get it again, just so you know. Promoted to captain in 2020. He was responsible for EMS and is now one of our training officers. Stay up here, will you? Also, we have Adam Daniels. Adam Daniels hired in 2012, promoted to engineer in 2018, SCBA technician and respiratory protect program manager. If you need something fixed, particularly small injury related, this is the guy. He has an incredible mechanical skill set. Another one of the guys always has a big smile on his face, which we really appreciate. And one thing that Adam is really passionate about is our peer support. And he's done an incredible job of bringing us forward into the 20th century, 21st century as far as firefighter behavioral health and wellness. So thank you, Adam. Chris Thompson. Is Thompson here? Didn't see Thompson? No, but I do want to read a little about Chris Thompson. He was hired in 2007. He became a captain in 2016. He was very passionate and used to manage all of our PPE. He's also a member of our AAR committee, and he's been on 3 USAR deployments. So a member of the FEMA team, particularly we call it Task Force 8 here in San Diego, when you have these big disasters across the nation, he's one of the individuals that goes, gets on a plane or a bus, whatever, goes across the country and helps out to mitigate the disaster. He's also been instrumental in implementing our social media programs. So he's the one that really brought that to us. And again, it's amazing all the things that our people do. And so unfortunately he can't be here, but a round of applause for Captain Thompson. Nelson Smith. I know I saw him. Nelson. Nelson was hired in 2007, became engineer in 2016. When he was a paramedic, he moonlighted as a paramedic preceptor. He's a skilled fabricator who, if you've been to Station 4 and seen our big giant vent prop that's in the back corner, Nelson and Austin Thomas, Nelson really helped to spearhead getting that project underway, which is really cool. So another person with an amazing skill set. And Nelson, so you know, is a sad day for Nelson because he's the reigning Firefighter of the Year for 2021. So his crown gets passed today, and he has to give back the sash and everything. But thank you, Nelson. Stay up here, stay up here. Battalion Chief Kyle Moyner. Kyle was hired in 2007. Became a BC in 2019. He's come a long way. He could actually read a script now in front of people. It's amazing. He's been a paramedic preceptor and mentor. He was a training captain, also helped to manage public education. And as he mentioned right now, he is responsible for services, managing the entire city fleet, and for putting together really cool events just like this. So good round of applause for Kyle Moyner. Tim Leonard. Tim here. All right, so I'll tell you a little about Tim. Tim was hired in 2007. He's a member of our city's Green Committee, very passionate about the environment. We appreciate him a lot. Also a member of our Fitness Committee, and he was instrumental in helping us create a swift water response plan. And before Channing took over, he was 8 years as a board member of the Santee Santas. So a round of applause for Tim Leonard. Jesse Fournier. We like to play with the pronunciation of his last name. Jesse was hired in 2007, became an engineer in 2014. Very passionate about instructing. He's been a Heartland instructor. He's also a state fire training instructor, and he specializes in firefighter safety and survival. He's a training committee member. And Jesse's another one of those guys where his smile is infectious. His work ethic is insanely respectable, and we appreciate every day that he comes to work for us. And that does it for our 15 years. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to 20 years, Trevin Montgomery. I think Trevin is still out, unfortunately. He was hired in August of 2002, became a captain in 2016. He was an Air Force veteran before coming to the fire service, and he used to be an HTF instructor, meaning that he used to assist with training our new recruits. He also was the individual that brought Jack to our department, which is huge for us because that has allowed us to tap into an amazing amount of funds for us to continue our training. And so if it was not for that program, we wouldn't have some of the funds available for all of our personal interests and training. So a round of applause for Captain Montgomery, even though he's not here. And Aaron Bagley. Aaron was hired in 2002, became a BC in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. He has been a paramedic mentor. He's been a member of our Health, Safety, and Wellness Committee. He's helped publish a bunch of reports for the Health, Safety, and Wellness Committee. And he also manages EMS and PubEd. And one of the things that he has been extremely instrumental in over this last year is really assisting us with, which Chief Garlow already mentioned, the JPA. But there is a lot of work, and I don't do it all. Aaron is insanely instrumental in helping, because it is kind of in the wheelhouse of EMS, but helping to move this ball forward. So thank you, Aaron, for all your work. Okay, I have a lot of stuff I'm supposed to do up here. So next one I have is we do want to recognize some new employees that we have up in fire admin. And so I know that one of them has already been up here, but come on up really quick. We have Karen, who manages our crossing guards. She greatly assists Venus and John and me in all things within the office. And so we're very fortunate to have her here. She doesn't work a full-time schedule, but she does the amount of work of a full-time employee, I'll tell you that. Yvette is not here, but I do want to mention Yvette. She previously worked at Barona, also worked in the private industry, and she has taken over assisting us with processing payroll. And when we lost Wendy, we had to find a replacement. It's difficult to replace Wendy, but we do have an amazing employee in Yvette, and unfortunately she couldn't be here as well. And lastly, Denise, come on up. Denise is our first fire inspector that we've hired. She had some experience from Marietta, which is really a steal for us. She lives in downtown, but Denise came to us this year, and she's been doing great things as far as helping us get up to date on all of our compliance for our inspections. So, thank you both. Okay, I got to go off script really quick, and Kyle's going to be really upset. Just give me a few minutes, Kyle. I swear, it's not going to be long. We do a really incredible job of putting this together and recognizing our employees. And I realize there's a little bit of a gap, and that was, you've already kind of heard about our battalion chiefs, our 3 battalion chiefs, and the amount that they do for this department. It's a tough job. It is a very tough job. You're expected to work on shift 24 hours at a time, manage each respective shift, A, B, and C shift, and then you go home and you don't really get to be off. You're tied to your phone, you're answering texts from me all the time. No matter where you are, you could be skiing in Mammoth, you could be at your home in Montana, or you could be out surfing, and they are incredibly responsive, and they care a great deal about the men and women in this department, and we would be nothing without them. So I do want to take a few minutes to recognize these high-performing individuals, Kyle Moyner, Aaron Bagley, and Jeff Hernandez. And I got a little something for them. So we had to come up with a way to motivate these really high-performing individuals. And you had to ask yourself, like, how do you get these guys to even work harder? So we implemented this rewards chart here. And at the end of the year, they knew that there was a prize to be had, that there was going to be a BC Superstar of the Year award that I got custom made here. So we want to honor our BC Superstar of the Year. Sorry, my voice cracked. And it's a 3-way tie, everybody. It's a 3-way tie. In all reality, gentlemen, we would be nothing. I would be nothing without you. Thank you for supporting me day in and day out. Thank you for supporting Fire Admin. You have a tough job. The only people that truly know how tough your job is are your wives. So here's a little gift. Take your wives out for a drink and thank them from me.
And then you get pictures of guys on your awards. Hold your awards now.
Thank you. He never disappoints, does he? All right, moving on to our next, I think we're slightly out of order, apologies. Our next portion of the event is promotions and badge pinning. So let me look at my notes. Our first promotion this year, and before we kind of get into the promotions, I'd like to take just a second to talk about what it takes to get promoted in this organization. Earlier we talked about our high levels of EMS and fire suppression that we provide. In my opinion, it's the best around. It doesn't compare. And then when you have that high level of service, promotions and standing out in a crowd of superstars becomes very, very hard. So when it comes to promotions, the 2 people I'm going to recognize that were promoted this year, it's understated the amount of work and dedication that goes into a promotion. It's not a one day, it's not a 1 week preparing for the test kind of department. It's not singular. It's everything that you've put into this department from the day you started till the day you're ready to get promoted, in trying to stand out amongst a group of just incredible firefighters is hard, to say the least. So as we recognize these 2 promotions, I hope you keep it in mind the work and dedication and the quality of human beings we have promoting in the fire department. So I'm going to first start with Captain Patrick Henry. Where's your badge at? Captain Henry will be pinned by his wife Michelle. As she's coming up, I'd like to take a second, sorry to cut off the pause. Captain Henry was promoted on 8/4/22. When were you hired, Pat? I don't have that.
November 10th, 2009.
2009. Fantastic. So Michelle, come on up. Oh, that was really good. Our next promotion is Billy Walkenhorse. So Billy was hired in October of 2014, that's correct, and was promoted on August 4th of 2022. And Billy will be pinned by his son Rowan. Come on up. Oh, nice job.
One more, honey.
Always a special moment to have somebody pin your badge on. They're the really, families are the only one that really know the work that went into those badges. So fantastic. Congratulations to both of you. Before we move on, I'd like to take a second and go off script just for a second, Kyle. Apologies. But I'd like to introduce and ask the city manager, Marlene Best, to come up and say a few words, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you for your deference for a couple of minutes here today. First off, from the city, I would like to tell you that looking out and seeing all the uniforms that are here, we really, really do appreciate all of the effort that everybody here does, and those in the departments who support our team. You guys use the word family, I use the word team, but it's all the same. We're all together, we're all here to help support the citizens of Santee and make everybody safe, make our community the best that it can be. And I really do appreciate the efforts of everybody here who makes that happen. The one thing that I do want to say is you look at, you talk about promotions, pinning, we have new hires here, we have people that are moving up. We hope that we will see you around for many years in the future, just stopping by to say hi. In that there is a vacancy in the role of fire chief for the city of Santee. Many of you, all of you here in the department already know that we did an opportunity to have a recruitment for fire chief. We could have gone internationally for that, but we decided we have enough people here within our own ranks to be able to make that promotion. And today is my honor to announce that our Deputy Fire Chief, Chief Justin Matsushita, will be the next fire chief for the city of Santee. Now, I don't have any cool little foam toy to give him, but my office is full of those. So before you actually take your new position, Chief, we'll have a chance to go through and have some other fun with you. But I thought since we have all of you here, family and friends, it's appropriate to announce who is going to lead the ranks going into our future for the City of Santee Fire Department. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. I'll just take a second to talk a little bit about Justin. Earlier I talked about how optimistic I feel in the fire department. In our careers, up to this point, from the day I got hired, and we all got hired, to this point, the department's kind of been somewhat the same as far as the size, response vehicles, number of people, ambulances. There's been a few little tweaks, but nothing significant that would make a difference as far as growth in our careers. We're on that precipice that we talked about on both the EMS transport and the fire side, that huge change is coming, and the gentlemen, the firefighters in this room, the younger ones will look back on their careers and no doubt have huge stories to tell about the way it used to be, because I have a feeling in the next few years, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, this fire department's going to look a lot different in number of stations, number in personnel. I have no doubt, and I can't think of anybody better to lead us through those changes than Chief Matsushita. So congratulations, Chief, and look forward to watching from the sidelines. So, as a matter of fact, I'll turn it over to Chief Matsushita to introduce some new hires. Oh, we already covered that. We already covered that. You went out of order, sorry. I will turn it over to Chief Bagley to talk about reports of exemplary performance.
Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations, Chief Matsushita. Yeah, it's my honor to give the award for exemplary performance. Can I have Kai Harden, Matt Brown, I don't know if I saw him here, Adam Smazna, and Joseph Bremer come up. Oh, there's Matt. A large percentage of our job is ordinary, mundane activities. A large percentage of our emergency responses are ordinary, mundane responses. You know, we're there to help, but if we didn't show up, maybe the person they would probably get by just fine. You know, we do what we can to make a difference in their lives when those happen. Smaller percentage of our calls there's lives at risk and property at risk, and as Chief Garlow alluded to earlier, we have a way of honoring our people for saving lives, for saving property, for doing a tremendous job that they do every day. An even smaller percentage of our job, our lives are at risk. And it's in those moments that we get to find out something about each other. And I think while we would never welcome those moments, we try to avoid them as much as possible, they happen. And we get to rely on each other and find out what each other is capable of. And in that respect, those moments they are a blessing because we get to find out truly about each other. And one of those moments happened for these 4 gentlemen this past fire season on the Mosquito Fire. They were assigned on our OES engine to a strike team, and that's a group of 5 fire engines led by 1 battalion chief. They were charged with holding a road so the fire didn't cross the road. The communication lines had broken down, and they did not have clear communication on what was going on. So they were kind of on their own. The decision making was on their own. The fire blew up. Everything kind of went south on it, and the conditions can change rapidly, and it did for these gentlemen. So they were left to make decisions for their safety. Kai Harden was the acting captain, leading the crew. But it takes a team. It takes a team in those moments, and people have to keep cool heads. They have to stay calm, collected. They have to make good decisions. And fortunately, very good decisions were made in that moment when it could have went really south for this crew. And Kai led the crew. These gentlemen acted calm, cool, collected, professionally on that strike team. No one was seriously injured, but several other fire engines their personnel suffered some minor burn injuries. Their engines were damaged. And the difference between, minor injuries, death, and just being okay can be small. And it's those small little decisions. So we found out something about you guys. And we appreciate it. We appreciate you. So I've got some certificates for you guys. Appreciate. I'm honored to work with you guys. I am. So thank you. This is for Kai Harden. Good job, gentlemen. I'd like to introduce Jeff Fernandez once again. I want to steal my opportunity to introduce myself. Okay, I get the privilege of presenting the certificates of commendation. So we have 5 gentlemen this year that have been selected to get a certificate of commendation. They're in no particular order, but I'm just going to go down and give you a brief little story about each of them. So Adam Daniels, you can come on up.
Okay, you get a star.
Sweet.
So Adam was selected to get this award. I'm going to read what it says on his certificate here. Let me make sure I get the. So his certificate says, for developing the peer support program and your selfless dedication to improving the mental well-being of firefighters and their families. So this is a relatively new thing in the fire service in general, and in our organization in particular. But the toll that all the stuff that we see throughout a career definitely takes a toll on us. And so the peer support program is just one arm of what we can do to help each other out. It's a lot easier to go to a familiar face and reach out to them sometimes than it is to reach out to a professional. Adam's really spearheaded bringing this program to our organization. He's very passionate about it. We, in fact, just met about it yesterday. It's one of the areas that I get to oversee. But he's really very passionate about all of his coworkers. He's very much a very his home family-oriented guy. But he also has a very close connection to everybody here at work. And like was mentioned earlier, during his other award that he received, he always comes to work with that smile on his face. He's got a very positive attitude. I don't think I've ever heard you cuss. He's just a very positive individual, and I think he's an excellent person. He really fits the mold of somebody that you'd want to have in this position. So I personally am grateful for what you've done and the efforts that you put into it, and I know we're continuing to move forward and do more with it. But great things ahead, and thank you for what you've done.
Thank you.
The next recipient is Barrett Kemp. So Barrett's award is, quote, for your dedication to the Ride-Along program and recruitment of future Santee firefighter paramedics. Barrett, also a very positive guy. He has really showed tremendous passion for who is in our organization and trying to find ways to get people that are a good fit in our organization. And I don't know the history behind it. I don't know how this is all developed, but back when a lot of us chief officers were trying to get into the fire service, there's literally a couple of thousand people applying for each one position that's open in the fire service. And nowadays we're lucky if it's like a 1-to-1 ratio. It's really kind of a buyer's market right now. And so it's difficult to be selective when we have those vacancies that we need to fill. But Barrett is very passionate about, and rightly so, about getting the right people in here, the right people that have the right energy and the right attitudes and the right work ethic to really be successful and continue to propel our organization forward in the direction that we want for the 30 plus years that they're going to be here and be part of their career. So his efforts are kind of a two-pronged approach. One of them is really tied with our paramedic internship program. So as a paramedic service provider, when you go to paramedic school, the last part of paramedic school is you get assigned to a paramedic ambulance and you are with that crew and you run 24 days worth of calls with that crew, and they essentially grade you and coach you and mentor you and try to help you to be successful in that program. A lot of people are, but there's also a lot of people that are not. But we get no greater exposure to these people than having them live with us in a fire station for 24 shifts. You're going to get to know those people in and out. You can't fake it for that long. It's much better screening tool than just an interview. So that's an excellent program. So if we're able to have these people ride along beforehand and we realize, hey, this person looks like they might be a good fit, they can be an excellent paramedic intern candidate, and then we can hopefully groom them from there and welcome them. And this is really a big part, is opening our arms to them and making them feel welcome in the organization and make them feel like part of the organization so they have buy-in in the organization and they want to be part of it. And then he's also, the other prong he's brought forth is kind of reinvigorating our recruitment and going out to paramedic schools and letting people know about the Santee Fire Department and trying to encourage them to come out and ride along and see if this might be a good fit for them and try to have them be one of our paramedic interns. So thank you, Barrett. Appreciate it. Adam Smosna, Captain Chris Balch. Chris's certificate says, for your dedication to the training program and standardizing training development and organization. So I'm new into training. I just came into training in July. And Chris has been a tremendous asset for me. Very shortly after I got into training, we were already responsible for trying to put on an academy and put some new hires through. And it's a tremendous amount of work. And Chris has done a spectacular job at coordinating our schedule, all the different trainer schedules, the schedule at HTF, and making everything coalesce and align. And he's also done a tremendous job over the last several years of creating various different documents and guidelines and books that we need to make sure that we are all on the same page. All the different trainers are reading the same sheet of music and know what needs to be done to get these people successfully trained, not only in the academy, but also through their first complete year of probationary period. And he's just been a very dedicated, strong workhorse. He's very dedicated to it and really has a vision. And he's really put a lot of time and effort and energy into it. And it's been a great asset to the organization and to training in particular. And it's going to help us move forward as people phase out and new faces are brought in. It gives us a great playbook to continue and just keep down that great path that we're on. So thank you, Chris. Adam's certificate reads, for your accountability to the EMS program and initiative in EMS improvement. I'm going to read a couple of highlights from his nomination on here. Adam has shown extreme ownership in his area of responsibility and always took initiative. Adam works hard to do the best that he can. Adam took over EMS supplies and was always organizing the EMS shed and making sure we had plenty of supplies without any direction or guidance. Back many years ago when I was a little kid, I was responsible for a lot of EMS equipment, and it's a tremendous job. We basically work with a bunch of teenagers sometimes, and it's very difficult to try to stay on top of and manage all the different equipment that's out there. And when somebody uses something and doesn't necessarily put it back or isn't aware of how much of that particular piece of item we have in stock, it's difficult to just stay on top of all that and really manage it. And Adam's really taken a lot of initiative with making sure that we have all the supplies that we need. We're a very busy organization, and managing all that between not only the ambulances but also the engines that use a bunch of equipment is a tall order. He's also been very instrumental in bringing some of the newer cutting edge equipment that we've got to the organization and staying on top of all that stuff. His nomination further went on to go, Adam has a great attitude and is liked by all of his peers. Adam is always looking for feedback or any areas of focus where he can improve and continue to make things better. Adam is very dependable and someone I rely on when I need something. So thank you, Adam. Appreciate your dedication. Jesse Fournier. Jesse gets a certificate for the loudest family support over here in the corner. Jesse's nomination reads, for being a lead state fire training instructor and providing Fire Control 3 courses for San Diego County fire personnel. So it was mentioned earlier that Jesse's been very pivotal with the firefighter survival class. One of the other things that he brings to our organization is Fire Control 3. So what that is when we have, typically it's going to be during a fire academy, but when we need to do any sort of live fire training, burning, there's a whole bunch of criteria that needs to be in place. And there's certain personnel that need to be there. They need to be trained at certain levels. We have to have certain fire trucks, all this different stuff. And it's very complicated orchestra that needs to be put into place. And Jesse is one of the lead instructors for that, for the state, which is a complex position to obtain through a lot of training and gets a lot of exposure. So he's one of a few, I think 3 in the zone, right? So he's one of 3 people in what we call zone, which is essentially East County, San Diego, that's qualified to have that position. And we need at least 2 of them there present while we're actually doing one of these trainings at any given time. So he's a very, very valuable resource, not only to us, but to our zone and even to all of San Diego County. He's definitely got a tremendous amount of pride, and he loves to do training. He's one of those guys who's very energetic and tries to get new guys or anybody who's really just trying, who also wants to just be better. He's willing at any time to go out and help you and give you the tools that you need and pass on whatever information he has. So Jesse, thank you for your dedication. So, thank you all very much.
Actually, I like staring at you all. That's why I take a little time.
And next I'm going to invite back up Chief Kyle Moyner, present Firefighter of the Year.
Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, myself and the awards committee, we really enjoyed this process. We were honored to read through the nominations, and I'm privileged to be able to present the Firefighter of the Year. So for the award, we received 4 different individuals were nominated, and one of those individuals received a nomination from 7 different employees, which in itself is truly remarkable. But even so, we weren't surprised with what we had read. So I'd like to share some excerpts about this individual. He has demonstrated a continued commitment to improving our organization. He is actively engaged in training and looks for opportunities to make himself and the crew he works with better employees. He performed extensive research on the nozzles that we currently deploy. He arranged for accurate testing of the actual GPM flows of these nozzles and proposed a demonstration and trial of the new equipment to improve our operations. He provides exceptional customer service and is always supportive of his fellow employees. His dedication to our fire department is commendable. He constantly brings forth new ideas, progressive ideas that help us better serve our community. His implementation of the new hose load of 2.5-inch hose was a tremendous improvement. The hose load is thoughtful. It allows for rapid deployment of the hose, which matches the layout and construction found in our community. He's a relentless hard worker, always has a positive attitude, devotes endless time to making those around him better through training and education. He shows initiative towards problem solving in our department. He always treats our patients with compassion, respect. He always has a smile on his face. And I love that thing about you. His positive attitude is contagious. His passion for the fire service is amazing. There's quite a bit more. It's really my pleasure watching this individual strive to make us a better fire department, and I'm lucky he's on my shift. His commitment to improving how we serve the public, it's very inspiring. I say that from a personal level. So without further delay, please join me in congratulating the 2022 Firefighter of the Year. It's Jeremy Carroll.
Jeremy!
Oh, I'll say something. I'll say something. I'm going to read from these notes that are up here. Honestly, I remember sitting 5 years ago in the seats all you probies are sitting in right now. And I think it was Captain Thompson that won it that year. And man, I just remember thinking he must be on top of the world. That's the coolest thing. Not only are you get to be a firefighter, you get to be the Firefighter of the Year. So that's a big deal. Like I said, I didn't write anything, but I'll leave you guys with a couple of notes that are pretty near and dear to my heart. Especially for you probies here, listen. It's okay to love the job, all right? The first line goes as the fire goes, all right? Or the fire goes as the first line goes, excuse me. Oh, man. We have to perform a search on every fire. Remember that? And most importantly, leave the fire service better than you found it, and be thankful that the fire service found you, all right? Thank you.
Congratulations, Jeremy. Thank you all for being here today to recognize our department and the amazing employees who represent our city. And this concludes our program. So thank you again, and we hope everyone has a good night. Thank you.